This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Woo-wee. I hold in my hand part of Colorado Supreme Court's decision yesterday to remove Donald Trump from the ballot because of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. And you're going to hear, look, I got a whole bunch here. I've got some banger clips that you're going to want to see. Mainly, this is going to be about right-wing cope, how they are just seething with anger that Donald Trump f***ed around and now he's finding out. That he attempted to overthrow the United States government, end democracy in America, and now he's being disqualified for participating in the very democracy he wants to end. A lot of people are saying, well, he wasn't really, he wasn't at the insurrection, he didn't, all these excuses. And that was addressed in one part on page 104, 105 of this. I'll put a link to the Colorado decision. It's like 231 pages. But they wrote this, quoting the fourth Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, John Marshall himself. Chief Justice Marshall explained that, quote, if a body of men be actually assembled for the purpose of effecting by force a treasonable purpose, all those who perform any part, however minute or however remote, from the scene of action and who are actually leagued in the general conspiracy are to be considered as traitors. In other words, an individual need not directly participate in the overt act of levying war or insurrection for the law to hold him accountable as if he had. And this is the quote from John Marshall. It is not necessary to prove that the individual accused was a direct personal actor in the violence. If he was present, directing, aiding, abetting, counseling, or countenancing it, he is in law guilty of the forcible act, nor is even his personal presence indispensable. Though he be absent at the time of its actual perpetration, yet if he had directed the act, devised or knowingly furnished the means for carrying it into effect, instigating others to perform it, he shares their guilt. In treason, there are no accessories. In treason, there are no accessories. And Donald Trump, that explains his participation in the insurrection. The insurrection we all witnessed. It was not a happy family reunion. It was not a tourist event. It wasn't just trespassing and vandalism. It was an armed rebellion, an attempted overthrow of democracy in America. Interestingly enough, in 2016, Donald Trump tweeted this: the state of Iowa should disqualify Ted Cruz from the most recent election on the basis that he cheated. A total fraud. Apparently, the man who is now crying crocodile tears about his removal from the ballot in Colorado is a fan of removing people from the ballot. Let me read exactly what Section 3 of the 14th Amendment is, for those of you who don't know exactly. It says no person, by the way, for all those, and I'm going to get to it, I'm going to have a clip here of Laura Ingraham and Jonathan Turley waxing as though this is anti-democratic, as though this was just pulled and just fabricated out of the air, like, oh, they're just trying to interfere with the election. This is a decision, a judgment, a ruling based on an amendment to the United States Constitution. Our founders knew that they didn't know everything. They knew that there were things they couldn't plan for. And because of that, well, one of the reasons for that is they allowed us to amend the Constitution. It's set in stone. And this is what Section 3 of the 14th Amendment says, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president or vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may by a vote of 2/3 of each house remove such disability. So it takes an act of Congress to make Donald Trump eligible after his participation in the attempted insurrection against the country. Now there's talk of civil war all over the place with these idiots. But first, let me play this clip of Laura Ingraham and Jonathan Turley. It is, I mean, they are twisting themselves into pretzels, attempting to make it make sense that Donald Trump, that this doesn't apply to Donald Trump. Watch this.
Well, this court just handed partisans on both sides the ultimate tool to try to shortcut elections. And it's very, very dangerous. I mean, this country is a powder keg, and this court is just throwing matches at it. And I think that it's a real mistake, but I think that they're wrong on the law. You know, January 6th was many things, most of it not good. In my view, it was not an insurrection. It was a riot. That doesn't mean that the people responsible for that day shouldn't be held accountable. But to call this an insurrection for the purposes of disqualification would create a slippery slope for every state in the union. This is a time when we actually need democracy. We need to allow the voters to vote. We need to hear their decision. And the court here just said, you're not going to get that. In Colorado, we're not going to let you vote for Donald Trump.
No.
And, you know, you could dislike Trump. You could believe he's responsible for January 6th, but this isn't the way to do it. I mean, it is, you know, for people that say they're trying to protect democracy, this is hands down the most anti-democratic opinion I've seen in my lifetime.
So Jonathan Turley would like Donald Trump to be able to participate in the franchise of voting. He thinks that Donald Trump should be able to participate in our democracy, even though he is actively still attempting to end that democracy. The answer is no, and the Constitution, this isn't anti-democratic, this move by the Colorado Supreme Court, a split decision, sure. This is written in the Constitution of the United States of America. This is within the fabric of our democracy. Now you're hearing conservatives, along with their Civil War talk, talking about, well, we'll just remove Biden from the ballot.
Fed up. In fact, seeing what happened in Colorado tonight, Laura, it makes me think, except we believe in democracy in Texas, maybe we should take Joe Biden off the ballot in Texas for allowing 8 million people to cross the border since he's been president, disrupting our state.
What? Help me out, Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Governor of Texas. Which amendment or what part of the Constitution would you remove Joe Biden from the ballot in Texas? I'm having a hard time finding it. I mean, there is a section in here that I just read relative to Donald Trump. You know, the 14th Amendment, section 3 of it. But where in here, or did Joe Biden attempt to overthrow the United States government through insurrection? Did he do that? I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. And then comes the funny part, and that is the Republican other candidates for president, Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh no, please, Vivek, don't threaten us with such a good time. Vivek is now saying, well, I'm gonna withdraw my name from the ballot. If Donald Trump, if he's going to be removed, I'm going to voluntarily do it. And I demand that all the other candidates do as well. Watch this.
That's why I'm making a pledge today that I will withdraw. I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot unless and until Trump's name is restored. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same thing, or else these Republicans are simply complicit in this unconstitutional attack on the way we conduct our constitutional republic. I refuse to be complicit in that. I think what they're doing is wrong, and I think it's up to Republicans to step up and stand up with a spine for our country's future. That's really what's at stake, whether we the people actually have a say in deciding who leads this country. Yes, it would be easier for other Republicans like me who are running in this race to say, hey, if Trump is sidelined, there's our opportunity. No doubt other candidates are probably privately celebrating with their corporate sponsors. That's not the right thing to do. I think the most useful thing that every GOP candidate can do right now is to join me in that pledge. I'll say that I will withdraw from that Colorado GOP primary ballot until Trump's name is restored. This belongs to the people, not to the unelected Democratic cabal of judges in Colorado or any other state. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie do the same thing, or else they're complicit in what this security state is trying to do to shut down Trump. I stand by that, and I expect them to do the right thing.
Again, oh, no, please, don't stop, don't do it, Vivek. What will we do if you're not running for president? Anyway, look, this is a good day. This lawsuit brought to you by CREW, Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, a group that I admire and talk about a lot. Their work is good. It is definitely one of those political organizations, activist organizations, that if you have a few dollars and you'd like to contribute to them, your money would be well spent. Anyway, what do you think about this? There's a whole bunch more. This video, I don't want to make a half-hour video of things, but there is all kinds of stuff. Michael Ludwig, that conservative judge, I was going to finish the video with him summing it up, but he gave full-throated support and explanation on CNN as to why this is a good decision. It is clear that Donald Trump participated in insurrection against the country, and to act like he shouldn't be held accountable for that is just absolute bananas nonsense. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. Please help support this work, help produce this work. Click that join button below. See what's involved to become a channel member for $1.99. You can do just that. You can hit the super thanks button, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Follow me on social media. I'm everywhere at Dollemore, and I'm speeding up so this video is not 20 minutes long for all of you. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.